I guess this is related. I just finished the last thing I watched from the Greatest Royal Rumble was the in-ring segment with the Saudi Arabia recruits.
Yes!
And then the Daivaris come out.
And Mansoor's there.
And Mansoor's there, but he's like not the focus, like at all. Like in the video package before, they quite literally show the other three people and just ignore Mansoor pretty much.
Yeah.
And
Boysoor, if you will.
Boysoor. Sean Daivari back randomly, literally for a one-off for this.
Yeah.
On screen.
Yeah.
And welcome.
To specifically Devoid.
Devoid Wrestling.
Well, it's this channel.
Podcast.
Where?
Devoid Wrestling Podcast, yeah, we're still getting started. Watching old shows and ragging on them. It's Big Mike and it's Derrick. Talking about freaking wrestling. We know how this whole thing goes. Sometimes we go to the shows. Get ready for the podcast, 'cause we're gonna get started now.
Wow, great work. That was written by Mikey Ruckus and performed by Mikey Ruckus.
But also performed by Derrick. in two different octaves.
This is true. Micah had me record both of them because I was like, the high one sounds better than the low one because I have to hit a low D in the low one.
I'll hit a low D. Hi, and welcome.
Hashtag Micah is a bottom. Your whole expression changed. The tone for this podcast.
Thank God this isn't a regular episode, so this cannot be titled anything else.
Well, recently WWE's been to a country that they're infamous for going for, which is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And to celebrate, do the opposite of celebrate,
illustrate,
to
compensate,
contextualize WWE in Saudi Arabia.
It just happened. We're not going to review that show, though.
No, here's my review. Here's my review. It sucked. Micah, thoughts?
I think I literally said to Derrick, I think I'm good with WWE for the next 5 to 10 years. Because nothing happened. It wasted to be fair, half the length of this fucking show that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, which is also a show in Saudi Arabia where kind of fuck all happens, honestly. This, of course, being their first venture to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on premium live event, the greatest Royal Rumble event.
Now, this is a pay-per-view.
This
is a Network.
This was a WWE Network exclusive event. This happened on noon on, I believe, a Friday, and I watched it in speech class.
I watched it in studio.
That's funny.
The greatest Royal Rumble was held on April 27th, 2018 at noon. It is to date the earliest pay-per-view earliest pay-per-view or premium live event or our exclusive to date.
True.
Ever held.
Although most of the Saudi Arabia events are held at noon too these days. This was in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, specifically in the city of Jeddah at the King Abdullah International Stadium with an attendance of 60,000 strong.
And usually for this, I do what does WWE do, but I'll do the opposite. What was AEW doing? It didn't exist.
AEW, I believe around this time was something in Ring of Honor, I'm sure.
Kenny Omega was gearing up for his title match.
His Dominion rematch with Kazuchika Okada?
Yes, for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
Yes, I believe the match now confirmed that gave Kenny vertigo.
No, that was G1.
Oh, right. They've wrestled so many times.
4.
And they've all been bangers, certifiably. Something
one of them's even a 4.75.
Yeah, something we probably won't see on this card, with the exception of like one match.
No, none of these are Okada Omega levels.
Not Okada Omega, but there's definitely one match that might be able to be considered a banger out of all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 matches on this card.
Okay, let's talk about them. And let's start off with a banger.
Certainly not the match I was talking about.
Oh, don't you mean Triple H versus John Cena?
Look, right in 2008, this was like top tier match. This was the match everyone was not wanted to see, but was gonna see.
And in 2006, that match main evented WrestleMania.
Yeah. And it sure is 2018 at this point, and neither Cena or Triple H are doing anything, really.
No, Cena is like freshly off his WrestleMania loss to The Undertaker. Triple H freshly off his WrestleMania loss to Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. And it sure is a singles match with no stakes at all.
Yes. But you know what? There are stakes. Children. Because John Cena's entrance just has a bunch of children. And it's not uncomfortable at all to watch.
It's like, it would have made sense in like the Wyatt storyline all of a sudden to have like a bunch of inspired children with Cena. But like, this is for Triple H in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Yeah, I said it's Mania 25, but propaganda.
Yeah. Yeah. That. Very that. It's certainly a match. Not the worst match on the card, but certainly not the best match on the card.
Yeah, I gave this a solid 1.5 out of 4.
I gave this a 2 out of a Dave Meltzer 5 stars. 2.5. I should just change the graphic.
Every time.
I should just change the graphic.
John Cena wins.
He sure does. Cena wins long. Our next matchup for the Cruiserweight Championship, it is recently crowned champion Cedric Alexander taking on former Cruiserweight champion Kalisto.
Yes.
Now,
I'm a Mark sign.
Mm-hmm. You've made me watch a lot of WCW recently, and this really feels on par with WCW in the fact that early on in the show, they just throw in a pretty good cruiserweight match in there
that nobody cares about.
Not a single person cares about.
Not a single person knows who these people are.
No, Cedric and Kalisto are working their hearts out, and the people of Saudi Arabia are sad that Cena and Triple H aren't there anymore.
Well, Cedric's working out his heart and his soul, as they keep talking about him being the heart and soul of NXT, the Cruiserweight division.
Yes, because recently the Cruiserweight division had to go through a tournament to crown a new Cruiserweight champion after the old one mysteriously vanished, and no one knows what happened to him. That, of course, being Enzo Amore. So yes. Cedric Alexander,
all because he couldn't stay SAWFT.
Yeah. So Cedric and Ali had a very good match on the pre-show of WrestleMania, and Cedric was named a Cruiserweight champion, and this was sort of his first big defense in that Cruiserweight title reign.
They talked about Kota Ibushi in this match. That was interesting.
They do, because they brought up the very good match that Cedric had with Kota during the Cruiserweight Classic. The match that a lot of people credit for being the match that got Cedric Alexander signed to WWE.
That's the one where Triple H comes out at the end. He's just like, all right, yeah, we get it.
We know Kota's good, but Cedric, you're also good.
Yeah. The fact that the Cruiserweight Classic could have been Kota Ibushi versus Zack Sabre Jr.
And ended up
a match probably BJP. That's happened. Yeah. Like a match definitely that has happened for the Openweight Championship.
Literally. I gave this match a good old 3.5 out of Dave Meltzer 5.
Oh, this is a 2 out of 4.
All right, we're on to the next match. Now, recently, The Bar had a WrestleMania match for their Raw Tag Team Championships against Braun Strowman and an opponent of his choosing. Braun Strowman walked to the crowd, saw esteemed New Japan stars such as Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kazuchika Okada, and chose Nicholas, a 10-year-old child, as his tag team partner. Braun Strowman and this 10-year-old then proceeded to win the Raw Tag Team Championships and then vacate them because Nicholas had school.
Presumably he had school that day that he relinquished them to.
Yeah.
But he missed it. Unless Nicholas is from New Orleans.
He's probably just there at Mania with his pops. Anyways, so this match is for the vacant Raw Tag Team Championships. The Bar being one of the teams, and the other team being the team of Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. Now, also recently, leading up to this match, Matt Hardy had won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal with the help of a returning Bray Wyatt, solidifying their sort of alliance and partnership going into this match. So, Micah, how did you feel about this match for the vacant Raw Tag Team Championships?
What did I give it? A 1.5 out of 4. I said in it, this is convincing me that Bray Wyatt isn't good at wrestling.
So, like, this was in the period of Bray Wyatt's WWE career where he just wasn't exciting. And it was just like, oh, yeah, it's Bray. It was when people realized, like, okay, he is just going to keep losing the big matches. Anything he did stopped being exciting to the point where him winning here is not exciting.
Yeah.
And him teaming with broken Matt Hardy is not exciting.
Yeah, that's one of the worst finishers I've ever seen, too.
It sure is a bad finisher. I give this a Dave Meltzer 2 period out of 5 stars.
1.5 out of 4.
Well, from one Hardy to the next. Next is a match for the United States Championship. And it's the United States champion Jeff Hardy, I almost said Matt, versus former United States champion Jinder Mahal. Now, this title scene from WrestleMania to now is more confusing than the Raw title scene. Going into WrestleMania, I believe Robert Roode was the United States champion. Jinder Mahal won a fatal 4-way at WrestleMania to become U.S. champion. And within the week, or within 8 days, lost the United States championship on Raw to Jeff Hardy, like right after the draft. And now we're here. This match is infamous for one thing. And it is
Jinder Mahal's entrance. With Paul Heyman-esque Samir Singh.
It's not that. It is most certainly the whisper in the wind that completely misses Jinder Mahal, and Jinder just sells it anyways. It's like at least a foot away, and Jinder is just like, well, guess I'm gonna sell, and he did, and that's the only like important thing that happens in this match. Otherwise, it is just a match.
Controversial. I give this a 0 out of 4.
I give this a Dave Meltzer 1.5 out of 5 stars. As we move now to the better tag team championships.
Oh, before this though, we got a Saudi Arabia ad.
Oh yeah. You know how great Saudi Arabia is? I'm lying.
It's great. You know, they let women drive now. Oh wait,
yeah.
That was not this one. That was the last one. Like, hey, they let women live there for free.
Yeah.
As long as you pay your dowry.
You want a women's match? I'm not sure about that though.
Wait a year.
Wait a year or two. We'll get something figured out.
It's like the reward prize of like, you want them to be in regular clothes? All right, so the next match.
We got the greatest tag team championships of the two.
The SmackDown Tag Team Championships between the Bludgeon Brothers and the Usos.
Bludgeon Brothers recently did a murder at WrestleMania, if you recall.
Yeah, and that triple threat.
Yes, and that's how they won the tag titles. And that's sure is how they retained the tag titles.
Yeah, but this match is too quick.
Yeah, this was like, I was glad they were pushing Harper and Rowan in a championship way, but they were pushing them like a little too hard, and they won too quickly. A lot of the time, like they would just destroy and leave, but they were both of them as a tag team were very great at wrestling. I would have loved to see like a time at the top with both of them where they were just tag team wrestling, like Harper and Rowan Wyatt family style.
Yeah.
I give this a 2 out of 5.
What I give it? I give it a 1.74 out of 4. Doesn't get that 1.75. I guess not.
No. You got to work for that extra 0.01 point. If it was a minute longer, it would have been 1.75.
Just a reason. Yeah. I don't know why I said that. I have it on the thing, 1.75, but I just gave it a 1.74 instead.
You know, that was foresight.
This is like the video that Beaumont just like confirms that that I'm high, even though I'm very much not high.
Our next match, I won't even say arguably, the best match on the card out of all of them. It is a fatal four-way ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. It is Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe versus The Miz.
Yeah. The promo before this, though, was the best part of this show.
Yeah. Which one was the one before this match?
The one for this match.
Oh, right. Yes. Yes. I have a list of the promos for this show written down, but I didn't put in which order they were in.
It's the one that they talk about, like their like pedigrees of like being good wrestlers, and The Miz,
and The Miz, who like WWE accomplishment standards probably is the most accomplished of the 4.
Seth Rollins, not at this time.
Not at this time, because Rollins hadn't won the Rumble yet, or the Universal Championship.
Yeah, he was. Oh, he was not Universal Champion.
No, he was not. This match is coming off of the very good triple threat between these same competitors minus Samoa Joe. And they threw in Samoa Joe because he's really good at wrestling, and that was a good idea. It's always interesting to me how like The Miz on his own isn't like, he's an okay wrestler. I'd say he's very average, but he has this way of when he's put with people, he doesn't get carried, but he always looks better against certain people. Rollins, he always looks better against. Balor, he always looks better against. Samoa Joe, everyone looks small compared to, because he's Samoa Joe and he's excellent. But a lot of hard-hitting ladder shots in this match. Great storytelling. I give this overall a 3. What did I give? I gave this a 4 out of 5 Dave Meltzer stars. It's a really good match.
3 out of 4. I like the finish. I've never seen it before.
It's a really good match. Up next, we talked about it a bit at the beginning of this episode. They show a video package of WWE tryouts in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And then they bring out their 4 new signees, and I don't have all of their names, but I sure do know.
One of them is Mansoor.
I sure do know that one of them is Mansoor.
Let me see if I can find it at all. Nassar, Hussein, Mansoor, and Faisal.
Yeah.
And might I just say that Faisal?
Faisal, yeah. So
I think Faisal was the most over.
Faisal, I think Mansoor was the most. I think Mansoor was the most over online, but not in person.
Yeah. And then Arya and Sean Davari come out being Iranian.
They literally say like real athletes are born in Iran, and everyone boos.
Yeah, and it's just like Sami Zayn like isn't on these shows because he's Syrian, But
Yep.
but the Davaris can be on the shows because they're Iranian.
Right. Like Sean Davari gets to have a one-off return appearance. But
I just
Sami
don't get
Zayn.
Yeah, I don't get the politics of that region of the world, I guess.
I don't get the politics of anything related to WWE in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
Speaking of which, the next match is the WWE Championship between AJ Styles and newly minted heel Shinsuke Nakamura.
They showed the video package of the WrestleMania heel turn, which at the time, at that specific time, felt a lot bigger than it was.
Yeah.
Like that felt like the beginning of something in Shinsuke Nakamura's WWE career, and then it just kind of wasn't.
Yeah, then it just kind of turned into a 4-match saga that just had a lot of crotch shots.
Mm-hmm. And sure enough, in this match, guess what you get at least one of?
I'm pretty sure. Doesn't this end in a double? Is this the one that ends in a double DQ, or is this the one that ends in a double count out?
This is the one that ends in a double count out.
Yeah, this is bad.
This is peak WWE booking screwy finishes on pay-per-view to get you to watch SmackDown. This was like when they
didn't work then.
Just
it's not going to work now.
I mean, for all the booking nightmare that this feud was, at the end of the day, in ring, at least we still got AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
That's true, but the finish makes this match a 2.5 out of 4.
I give this a 3.5 out of Dave Meltzer's 5.
Aiden English, what's he doing here in the Saudi Arabia zone? Oh wait, I forgot. He does the Rusev Day thing, and Rusev Day. This is the reaction that WWE thought Rusev Day was getting. Like almost none.
Right.
Like woof. God. Remember when this match was Chris Jericho versus The Undertaker?
Actually, I remember when this match was Rusev versus The Undertaker, and then it was Chris Jericho versus The Undertaker, and then it was Rusev versus The Undertaker again.
Yeah, this is like the match that like people were just like, oh, I don't think The Undertaker can wrestle. I mean, like it's not safe for The Undertaker to wrestle anymore.
Right. This wasn't the match where like, okay, The Undertaker isn't as good as he used to be. This is the match where like it's like he shouldn't be doing this anymore.
And his next match is the Brothers of Destruction. His next match is actually against Triple H in Australia at Super Showdown, and then at Crown Jewel, it's the Brothers of Destruction versus that, and then it's Goldberg versus.
So a streak of bangers from The Undertaker here.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then he like teams with Drew McIntyre or something. It's weird.
Oh my God, you're right. I forgot about that. Oh my God, what was that? That was Shane and someone versus Drew and The Undertaker, right?
Shane and Corbin or something.
Oh
no,
my God.
It's Shane and Drew versus Roman and The Undertaker.
Is it really? I forgot that match fucking happened. Are you joking?
I think it happened at like Extreme Rules or Backlash. Yeah.
Extreme Rules. Was that 2019? Holy shit.
Yeah, this is that was the second to last match of The Undertaker's career. That was his last in-ring match. God,
that was like, if people who might be surprised that WWE is not great now, I want to point you to WrestleMania to Survivor Series 2019 WWE. Because that time period is a train wreck and terrible.
It's why I don't like WWE is late 2017 to like early 2020. Actually, like up until mid 2020, like Raw is trash. Like it's not good and it's actively bad.
Yes. Specifically, I think the worst time period in Raw is when they announced the fucking brand-to-brand invitational thing.
The quarterly brand invitation?
No, what was it? The wild card rule. When they did the wild card rule bullshit. Where it was like 4 people from the other show per night can appear.
And then it's 6.
And then it's 6, and then it's 4, and then it's 7. And then they did a draft again because they put SmackDown on Fox. So the Undertaker versus Rusev happened.
This was bad. I didn't like this match at all.
It sure did happen. Rusev deserves better. He should be United States champion at this moment.
Rusev deserves better. He should be TNT champion again.
He should. Yes. Please. Make him the Joker in the ladder match.
Do that. Make him the Joker at the Casino Battle Royale at Double or Nothing.
Fuck yeah. All right, do you want to talk about a better match with a better finish?
Hold on. We didn't talk about it. I gave this a 1.5 out of 4.
Oh God, yeah. I gave this a 1.5 out of 5.
Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Where have I seen this match before? Try every fucking Raw main event segment now, according to Derrick.
It is
Derrick
not Raw.
talks. Derrick does a play-by-play of Raw while I'm on the phone. Like, I'm not watching it, and he'll just start talking to Raw. He'll just start talking Raw.
Because if I have to experience it, you have to in some way. I'm forcing you to.
Aren't I punished enough? Isn't my life rough enough?
No. So, Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns have had many matches with many different finishes. And I think this is the worst one.
This is the
second.
This is the second to worst one.
What do you think's the worst one?
WrestleMania 34.
That's fair. Actually, you know what? I'll predict it now. I think the WrestleMania 38 finish is probably going to be worse than whatever this is.
Oh man, I didn't even think about that. No, don't. No, because it's just gonna be like Roman Spear. It's gonna be like a 5-minute match to open WrestleMania.
Are you sure they're not gonna have it DQ so they don't have to merge the titles?
Oh my god.
Tell us what you think in the comment section.
Cody, don't go to WWE. And if you were at WWE last night, man.
Oh, man. I'm sure I'm going to be talking to you literally tonight about how Cody Rhodes is attacking Seth Rollins.
I'll bet you $10.
Nope. So they have a steel cage match with my least favorite steel cage match finish I think I've ever seen.
Nope. I still can beat you.
What?
Stomping Grounds 2019 Dolph Ziggler versus Kofi Kingston.
No, that one's good because like the jumping out of the cage is a cool visual. Right? If you're gonna do escaping from the door, that's a cool way to do it.
This is jumping from the cage, if you think about it.
All right. So
let's talk about it.
Let's talk about the finish. So I believe it's Roman spears Brock into the cage.
Yes. And it's like Lashley spearing Umaga.
Yes. And they both fall out. The cage happens. Blah blah blah. What happens in real life is that Roman Reigns' feet hit the floor before Brock Lesnar's does in real life. Like they fucked up the spot and just gave Brock the match anyway. They were like, "Oh, Brock's the winner," even though it's like really clear that Roman's feet.
It's not really clear, but it's clear after like a replay.
Yeah, it is clear after like 10 seconds that Roman's feet hit the ground first. And Brock Lesnar sure does retain the championship again for the second time in a row when he shouldn't have. Roman should have won at Mania. And then also here. And he won neither of those times.
But he will win again.
He sure will.
We're not going to review SummerSlam 2018. That is like one of the worst pay-per-views that I've ever had to sit through to watch.
Oof. I don't even know if it's the worst SummerSlam in the past 5 years.
In the past 5? What's worse? Is 2019 worse?
I don't even remember what happened in 2019.
2020 is okay.
The literal only thing I remember from 2019 is Goldberg Ziggler.
Oh, Seth beats Lesnar.
Oh yeah, that was, we knew that was gonna happen. Oh, there's Orton versus Kofi, which I think also ended in a double count out.
Yes. What else happened?
Goldberg Ziggler.
2020 was good because
2020 was
Roman
pretty
Reigns
good.
came out of nowhere.
Yes, that's true.
Drew Orton.
Drew Orton was Drew Orton. Fiend Strowman main eventing though.
Yeah, that's weird.
Mm.
Can't be weirder than 2021 wasn't that bad.
It was all right.
Comparatively
to both SummerSlams and 2021.
All right. Hey, up next we got this beautiful looking belt.
Yes, the most beautiful, a very good looking belt that is never used again.
Yep. And then, well, it's time for the titular match.
50 competitors.
Over the top. 2 feet must hit the ground. Every 90 seconds, a new superstar enters until all 50 have entered.
50.
The last one to go over the top, hitting 2 feet on the ground because 2 feet must touch at the same time, will be declared the winner.
Here is a highlight list of the surprise entrants in this match. At number 5, Mark Henry, who at this point was already retired, had already announced his retirement from.
Let's just say number 1 and 2 because like this
Right.
is that's kind of important.
Number 1 and 2, Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler.
And
very important.
Very important. Half of that.
Half of that. Specifically the number 1, Daniel Bryan, half of that. We got Mark Henry, who has announced his retirement, was already retired, entered the ring. At number 7, we have the famous, historic Hiroki Sumi, who had never been in WWE, has not been in WWE since, has hardly been in wrestling since. It's just a guy. It's just Hiroki Sumi.
Just a sumo.
He's just a sumo guy, and he had a bit with Mark Henry, and that was that. Number 10 featured 205 Live star Tony Nese in his first Royal Rumble, and he had a silly spot with the New Day and got eliminated.
Hold on. I forgot that we were going to do this. Give me a second.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to count all the people in this match that are in AEW. Continue.
Oh, yes. The number 12 surprise entrant was Hornswoggle, of course, AJ Swoggle, if you would, who sure was Hornswoggle for a little bit before being eliminated by Tony Nese. Our next surprise entrant was 205 Live's Drew Gulak, who I believe this was also his first Rumble. He was in there for a little bit, got eliminated by number 24 surprise entrant, NXT's Tucker Knight, who was just sort of in Heavy Machinery at the time. He wasn't like Heavy Machinery wasn't nearly as popular as they were now, or not now because they don't exist anymore. But Tucker Knight was in there for a bit, eliminated Drew Gulak. 10 minutes he spent in there. Very good. Number 28 was Rey Mysterio. This was big because Rey Mysterio wasn't in WWE at the time. This was, I believe, this was not a few months. This was like at least half a year after All In, right?
This is before All In.
This is before All In. Oh, I thought, never mind. I had my time wrong.
He did All In, and then like a month later, he came back to WWE.
He did, well, because he came back, when he came back to WWE, okay, so it was this match, then All In, and then at 2019's Rumble, he came back.
Nope, he came back in October of 2018.
I thought he came back in a Rumble, no?
Yeah, this Rumble, he like
but I thought he was like back after a Rumble too.
Nope.
All right. So Rey Mysterio is that surprise entrant. We go down. Number 34, we get Roderick Strong, who spends 6 minutes in the match, but a lot of that time is spent sparring with Daniel Bryan and
that's newly undisputed.
Undisputed Roderick Strong. Spent a lot of that time exchanging chops with Daniel Bryan and turning each other's chests into raw meat. before being eliminated. Number 37 surprise entrant was Baba Tunde, now known as Commander Aziz. He sure was somebody at the time. He was like a trainee at NXT at the time. He spent like 5 minutes in the match. Number 40's surprise entrant was NXT's Dan Matha, who you may remember had a lot of video packages hyping him up a lot. And then when he debuted, he just got murdered by Samoa Joe, and it was very good. The last surprise entrant at number 45 was the Great Khali, who spent a grand total of 31 seconds in this match. Have you done the counting, Micah?
9 if you include the Good Brothers.
9 if you include the Good Brothers, which I'm inclined to, based on how Impact is shaping up. Seems like a Good Brothers return may be more imminent than we think on AEW TV.
Yes.
Yes. Do you want to talk about other important parts of this match, since I have gone through all the surprise entrants?
Titus World Slide.
This is I remember watching that live, right? That was just the whole match stopped for a minute. Not like in ring, but like all anyone cared about was Titus O'Neil just fell in the ring. They showed the replay like 5 times in the match.
You already talked about Dan Matha. God, what happens in this?
Actually, I guess number 50 is also a surprise entrant, even though he was announced, but not really with WWE, or like was his last thing with WWE.
I was just gonna talk about that.
Sorry.
It's the list. It's the list maker.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Jericho, and Kevin Owens is in the ring, so he's just like, "What are you doing here?" Even though you were announced for this match. And he's calling him a stupid idiot. He's got like this stupid. Chris Jericho is wrestling without a scarf or a shirt, so like this is out of character. This is This is 3 months removed from the Kenny Omega Wrestle Kingdom match.
Mm-hmm. Although, interesting to note is that Wikipedia still has him listed as a SmackDown superstar for this match.
I mean, like, legally.
Right, because at the beginning of that year, he had been drafted to SmackDown. No, that was the year before.
Yep.
I don't know why he's listed as a SmackDown superstar.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense, really.
The final 3. Oh, I should say the final 4 are Shane McMahon, Braun Strowman, Big Cass, and Daniel Bryan, setting a record in concurrent Royal Rumble matches for most single time.
Mm-hmm.
Braun Strowman throws Shane McMahon off, and Shane McMahon goes through a thing. Big Cass eliminates Daniel Bryan, and then Braun Strowman eliminates Big Cass, winning the Royal Rumble Championship belt and trophy, gifted to him by the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia and like the sports director.
Look, as soon as they showed that trophy, right, and they showed how big that trophy was, it was like a dead giveaway that Braun Strowman was winning. Like that, like they wanted something large that would look regular in Braun Strowman's hands.
I gave this a 2 out of 4. It was fine. It's a Royal Rumble.
I gave this a 1.5 out of 5 stars. It's too long and not that exciting.
Oh, yeah.
It's too long and not that exciting.
This whole show gets 1.5 out of 4.
This whole show gets a 1.5 out of 5 from me. If I'm ever going back to watch anything from this pay-per-view ever again, it's the 4-way IC title ladder match.
Well, that's it.
Should we watch a good show for one of these at some point?
I don't know. What do you think? Let us know.
Can we please?
I'll think about it.
A good WCW show doesn't count as a good show.
Don't worry, guys. We're gonna watch a bad WrestleMania next month.
Oh man, you mean WrestleMania 38? Ayo!
Ayo!
Oh!
No, I mean WrestleMania 17 because that shit's overrated.
Oh, shit, I actually kind of agree with you. Anyways.
It's number 3. It's a podium finish. You
It
can read
sure-
more about that on specificallydevoid.com.
It sure is one of the paper WrestleManias of the early 2000s.
Yeah. All right. From all here at Specifically Devoid, and from us here at Specifically Devoid.
And
I've
us.
been me. Yeah. I've been me, and you've been you, and we'll see you soon.
Bye. I love you.